Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Art Chat Daddy Sims. Glad to be here with you guys on this beautiful Tuesday evening, much like a summer Tuesday evening, but really it is the first day of fall 2020, and it seems as if we'll have really great weather the beginning of, no, the rest of this week, but the beginning of next week, we will definitely be dropping down into the high 70s, mid to low 60s. So fall will have officially set in. Tonight, I have another great show planned for your viewing and listening pleasure. This evening, our co-host is the amazing Kay Renee. Kay Renee is celebrating her birthday today, so she'll be joining us in just a few moments so that we can toast her, have a great time, and do all the things that we need to do to celebrate her birthday. Today is also voters registration day, so we're going to talk to you guys about the importance of voting, making sure you are a registered voter, and do all the things that are necessary. Don't forget, election day is coming up very soon. November 3rd is election day, and we want to make sure everybody is registered to vote and that your vote is counted. I'm not here to tell you who to vote for, but as you know, as I know, and as I know, you know, something must change within our governmental procedures, and we must get people back to work. We must deal with this pandemic as a whole, and our country needs to go in a totally new direction with our new normal. So you guys get that? All right, coming up on tonight's show, September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. So joining the show tonight is noted mental health expert Dr. Wanda Parker. She's been here with us before, and tonight she's going to talk about suicide prevention and awareness. And then later on in the show, millions of adults and children are using computers now more than ever, whether it's a Zoom meeting. Our children are doing virtual learning, and this is putting a strain on people's eyes. And believe it or not, there's a such thing as computer vision syndrome. Who knew? I never heard of it before, but tonight, Dr. Ansel T. Johnson will be joining us, and he'll talk to us about computer vision syndrome, as well as other eye issues that we're facing during this COVID-19. So now I'm looking in the green room and I see a vision of beauty. I do. Is that Halle Berry in the green room? Is that Shaka Khan in the green room? Is that, Iman? Is that who is that beauty in the green room? No, it's none other than Kay Renee, the birthday girl and our co-host tonight. And we got to give it up to her. She is the longest running guest co-host on this show since this show has been in existence. Javonda Lynn was a guest co-host, but she hung out to get the show going and things like that. And Kay Renee has picked up that baton, and baby, she's been running with it ever since. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, our co-host, but most importantly, she is the birthday girl today. Karen, it's your birthday. It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
Uh-oh, you breaking up. We can't hear you. You breaking up.
Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Oh, now we can hear you. Yeah.
Yay.
It's your
Yay.
birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Hey, baby. How are you? Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. All right. Thank you for allowing me to be with you on this day. I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude. You know, you had Miss Ross yesterday and D'Angelo about gratitude, and I've always had a gratitude journal since 2013, and so my heart is full. It truly is.
Really?
I got emails, phone calls, cha-ching.
Cha-ching. You're right. Right.
Cha-ching.
Amen. Amen. It's probably gonna be more cha-ching coming your way as well too. So,
What?
K Renee, you've been up all day long, as we would say in the hood, honey, clowning about your birthday today. So, how did the day start? When did it start? Because by the time I slept a little late today, and by the time I woke up, honey, you was in full swing of this thing called a birthday. So, how did your day start? You look beautiful today. You really do.
Thank you. Thank you. No, it actually started at exactly 12 o'clock. I was up trying to finish up my birthday blog, and I hope you read
Okay.
it. And it's entitled Birthday Love. And,
Yes.
you've known me since the sandbox. I have always been a person that really values birthdays. And it really started with my parents. They being an only child, they're like, we're gonna make sure she is loved, and especially on her birthday. And my mom in particular, she's like, baby, this is the day that God has made. And actually, well, a lot of people don't know I was a preemie. I was supposed to be born in October. But you know me, I can't wait for Jack nor
No.
SHIT. So I
No.
had to
No.
come when I came.
Uh-huh. Well, in this day and age, honey, a lot of us have to come when we can. You know what I'm saying? Right. You get what I'm saying? Right. But as a preemie baby, you couldn't wait to get into this world,
Couldn't
huh?
wait to get in this world. And so
Uh-huh.
every year I had a birthday. And then, as I got older, my parents allowed me the creativity to do something for them. And I really am grateful that I was able to do that for both my parents before they made their respective transitions. And I talk about birthdays because they're national holidays. I mean,
Yes, they
I
are.
think of it as God, our Heavenly Father. Thank you, darling,
Yes.
decided on that day that you come into this world, you come into existence in this body temple,
Yes.
you're born. Because of that, you
Hmm.
should be celebrated. So,
Yes.
yes, I have kicked it up, got the nails done, got my pedicure on.
Uh-huh.
My cousin, Miss Deirdre Mason, did my hair yesterday. And
Uh-huh.
normally, I'm a Bailey's girl, but baby, I got my wine right here.
Well, Boo Bear, I got a bottle of champagne to toast you with
Ooh,
tonight.
thank you, guys.
I normally just have tea on the show or some water or
Hmm.
whatever. But honey, tonight I am having some Moet in honor of you. So
Oh,
I
thank you, sweetie.
let me pop the cork, honey.
Okay, pop the cork.
Let me do all of these things that are
Okay,
necessary to celebrate you on your birthday, and then to
thank
just know you wanted to be co-host tonight really is an honor and a pleasure. Kay Renee, there
oh,
are many things that you could be doing tonight. I mean, we are in the middle of a pandemic and a quarantine and all of that, but
all
you
right.
chose to celebrate your birthday on my show, and really this brings tears to my eyes. Let me do this as a former flight attendant. I'm supposed to be able to gently pop this cork, but I'm getting old. Let's see.
Love it.
See,
Woohoo!
Daddy still got them skills not to hit all the passengers in the face with a cork on the
Okay.
airplane. So, baby, here's to your birthday. I got my straw tonight,
All
and
righty.
mm, oh
Mm,
boy,
it's
hmm
good.
I
And,
know.
and
Look, as it's all in my lap. Hmm.
I also
Hmm.
talked about, you probably saw my live. I did a live on birthdays, and I kind of implored my audience, and I'll say this to your audience. If you're, not so feeling your birthday, look up what happened on your birthday.
Hmm.
Every day has some historical events attached to it. And I was so surprised when I did my research to find out what things happened on my birthday and some of the people that have been born on my birthday. So,
Yes.
you know, it just, we are all destined for greatness and excellence. So,
Yes.
and because you were born, and I closed it as I shared with you off camera that I was going to sing. And a lot of people are like, I didn't know you could sing. I said,
Hmm.
hey, I'm a
Hmm.
multi-talented, facet woman. Don't get it twisted. I'm not just a diva for nothing.
So now, would we be able to get a smidgen of that little, birthday ditty, or is it one of
Absolutely.
them things that you only do like for,
Oh no,
somebody?
honey.
Okay, see, I thought maybe that you were singing with some marabou slippers on, and
Mm-mm.
a little negligee or something. But
No, that will be for my significant other when he pops up. When he pops
uh,
up, he'll get get a different serenade, if you know what I mean.
Oh, and probably a little lap dance to go with it. Oh,
Hey, I can move now.
I know you can. I look. Last night we talked about belly dancing, so
Okay.
who
And you know,
knows, darling?
I haven't shared this with you, chat there in your audience, but I can share it now because I'm a little bit older. I did the stripper pole. And
Oh,
then
oh,
I took pole dancing back in the day.
oh. Well,
Hmm.
back in the day, in my early 20s, I kind of did some interesting things as well too. See, you did it when it was trendy, and all the women were running to go take these classes. Well, I did it back in the day when folks did something strange for some change. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah,
I ain't
that
mad at you, Art. Not mad
right.
at you. Not,
Yeah.
and so
So
whenever you want me to serenade, I can do that. That's something
okay, all right.
I shared with my audience that besides, writing and blogging and baking my world famous sweet potato pies, I love to sing.
Yes. Okay. Well,
So
before the show is over tonight, you and I are going to let you sing and dance and have a good time.
sounds great.
Tonight, we have two amazing doctors joining us. Dr. Wanda Parker. September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. So she'll be here to talk about that. We'll ask her tons of questions. And then later on in the show, Dr. Ansel T. Johnson will join us. And we're going to talk about the fact that we're on these computers and what
Right.
are these computers doing to us, our eyes, these smartphones, blue light, all of that good stuff. But most importantly, we're going to celebrate your birthday, baby, your birthday, baby. So if you guys want to leave K Renee a message, please go to the Real Chat Daddy Show page. Wish her happy birthday. It's the Real Chat Daddy Show page on Facebook, the Real Chat Daddy Show page on YouTube, and leave K Renee a happy, wonderful birthday
Thank
message.
you, Miss
All right.
Marguerite.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, K Renee, let's get into the top news stories of the day. We
Okay.
always start off with the COVID-19 update. Illinois state health officials announced today 1,531 new known cases of coronavirus. Unfortunately, in the last 24 hours, we've had 30 additional deaths.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Uh, According to Illinois Department of Public Health, Tuesday's new cases of virus brings the state total now to 277,266 confirmed cases since the pandemic started. Our now statewide death total is 8,468
Wow.
fatalities. The state
Wow.
I know, isn't that something? The
Mm.
statewide 7-day average positivity rate is now 3.5. I think when you were on the show with me last week, Kay Renee, it was 3.8 and then it
Right.
drops. So we are doing better. We're doing much better here in the state of Illinois. And currently we have 1,455 patients who remain hospitalized statewide with COVID-19. 367 of these people are in intensive care, and 153 of these people are on ventilators. And so, Kay Renee, yesterday was my first in-person doctor's visit.
I saw that.
And I actually had to go to a hospital for this visit to meet with my oncology team.
Okay.
And yesterday, honey, I was not playing. I went up in
I
there,
saw you, honey.
baby.
I saw you.
I went in there, mask up.
I saw you.
I went in there
I
with my
saw you.
shield on, honey. They remember this group Devo, whip it good,
Yes, I
whip it
remember.
real good. I
Yes.
look like I'm a member of that group. You understand me? But as I tell people, I've got to be fashionable. I have to
Right.
slay. I have to slay when I
Play
go
it. That's
somewhere.
right.
So this is my beautiful face shield. And then tonight, in honor of your birthday, I thought I'd bring out the shimmery red
All
mask
right
to
now.
celebrate your birthday.
Yes.
But yes, so we want to remind everybody to please take all the precautionaries necessary to take care of yourself, your health, and all of that great stuff. Kay Renee, I hope you're not headed up to the Wisconsin Dales or any of those places for the weekend, because our friends to the north of us have now been put back on our quarantine list.
I heard that.
For the 10th day in a row, Wisconsin broke its own record on average daily new cases. They picked up more than 1,200 new cases on Monday.
What?
Last week, honey,
Oh my.
honey, they up there talking about you get the Rona. You get the Rona. You get the Rona. That's what they're doing. I'm telling you now. So, for the 10th day in a row, last week, the state had multiple days where more than 2,000 new cases were discovered.
Wow.
Day after day, day after day. So, with that being said, the city of Chicago has dropped 16 states from its quarantine list. So now you can go to Florida, you can go to Idaho, you can go to North Carolina, Texas, you can finally go to Hawaii and Nevada. But they've all been removed from that list. Now, Utah has been added, and now Wisconsin looks like it will be next to be added to that list.
Look, Chad, let me just say this. Now, Utah is a what? A Mormon state. So it makes me wonder, why have they had an increase in in COVID cases? You know, if you're a Mormon, you're supposed to, you know, fly straight. You know what I mean? So I wonder.
Honey, I don't know. Maybe it's the multiple wives and the good Christian values. And wait a minute. Actually, Salt Lake City is a beautiful place.
It is.
It's a beautiful place. And to me, Americana values, things like that. But I don't know. Maybe because it's so beautiful, they don't know how to contain themselves in Utah. But isn't that something that Utah's numbers would be up like that?
And you mentioned Salt Lake City. You know what's coming out in the Real Housewives franchise, the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Girl, you gotta be kidding me. No, I did not know that.
It's going to premiere next month. And and here's the ticket. Now, let me just say this. They have different women. One is African American. She's Pentecostal.
Really? Oh.
Pentecostal. Oh. There's another young lady who is of, I think, Arabic descent.
Okay.
She's converting. She was a Mormon, but she's converting to Muslim. It's going to be a hot mess.
So now, wait a minute. My question to you, will these ladies be able to drink and snatch wigs and act a fool? Or will these be Bible-thumping ladies baking cookies? So that's
they don't bake no cookies. I saw some women in the trailer on the pole. So
shut up. Shut up. They're my girls there. Right. They're my girls. Right. They're on the stripper pole.
So there was one on the pole. So it premieres in Bravo in October. So that's going to be an interesting ensemble cast for the Real Housewives friend. I'm a Real Housewives junkie. I'll admit it.
Okay.
I find it entertaining. But Salt Lake City, I've always said, I had sent an email to Andy Cohen and said, if you're going to do some Real Housewives, come to the Windy City.
Hello. Come
to the Windy City.
That's right.
We're going to tell it like it is.
Yeah, but see, baby, I'm afraid of what you housewives will do. That's what the problem is. And then, if they come to Chicago, they'd have to have a housewife like myself on the show. You know what I'm saying? Right. They'd have to have me on the show to give some balance.
I think it will bring some serious you will bring some serious entertainment, but also some thought. It'll be very thought-provoking. I think you would.
Okay. All right, darling. Well, with that being said, I want to remind everyone that if you are going up to Wisconsin for the weekend or you visit somebody in Wisconsin, keep in mind that their daily COVID rate numbers are extremely high. And this has been going on for over 10 days now. Wow. So we just want to remind everybody to be just very, very careful. All right. Well, today is National Voters Registration Day. Yay!
Yes.
If you are not registered to vote, we ask that you please do so. That's right. Go and get registered so that you are able to vote. The November 3rd election is right around the corner. Less than 46 days away? I think it is 46, 47 days away. This is very crucial that we vote and make our opinions be heard. Shout out to our friends at Foot Locker. Foot Locker has turned their 2,000 stores into voter registration locations.
What?
because
Wonderful.
they know young people love the gym shoes or
They do.
sneakers or however y'all call them. They are now making it where you can register to vote right
Oh,
at Foot
good.
Locker. So for a lot of you, there's no excuse of you not being able to vote. For those of you all that are in the city of Chicago, there's a Foot Locker store at 87th and Cottage Grove.
That's right.
So, honey, I need for you to get Pookie and them, and
That's
y'all get
right.
in the car with some
And
ID and go register to vote.
to
Do the
vote.
right
That's
thing.
right. Our
Do the
our history, our lives depend upon this election. I don't care who you vote for, but your life depends upon it. Given what happened to the notorious RBG, I was devastated when I heard that she made her transition because she
yes.
had made such an impact of women and gender people. And it's a loss, but as I said, you got to do that voting. You must
Hmm.
vote. There's no
Yep.
excuse in this
Mhm.
election. None.
Yes, yes, very good. So yes, all Foot Lockers, they have partnered with the non-for-profit Rock the Vote. And so you
Okay.
can go right to Foot Locker. You can take your teenager there if they're 18 years old and get
Hmm.
them registered to vote. And let's get this process underway and know the importance of your power is through voting. For a long time,
Absolutely.
our people could not vote, and there was a
That's
lot of
right.
problems and issues, but now more than ever, you can go to Foot Locker, 2,000 stores across the country, and get registered to vote. All right.
That's right.
Well, Kay Renee, in honor of today being your birthday, today is also National Ice Cream Cone Day.
That's right. Do you know the
Aha.
inventor? Do you know the inventor of the ice cream cone? His name is Italio Macchione.
Oh, I did not know that, boo.
Yeah.
When did he come up with that? And he had to be a very sensuous man to create, because what you're doing,
Well, he is.
so.
Well, wait a minute. He is Italian art, and let me tell you, when I was in
Oh,
Rome in 2018, child, the Italian men couldn't walk the
yes,
street. They were like,
I know.
can I walk you to your place?" I'm like,
Yes, 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 yes.
they love the sisters in
Yes,
Rome. I'm gonna tell you
yes,
that now.
yeah, yes.
They
Italians
love
love
the sisters.
they love the chocolate. They
They
do. They,
chocolate, cafe au latte. They love
yes,
the sisters.
yes, they love the chocolate in Italy. So Renee, if I was to scoop you a big old cone of ice cream right now, darling, what would I be scooping for you, dear?
You know,
what would be your
my favorite is Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream. That is my
really,
weakness. Yes,
really,
it's
really?
coffee, and it tastes so
Oh,
good. And see, as you told me, I'm having a flashback of something. I just we
uh-huh.
must continue.
Uh-huh. What was somebody whispering in your ear about your chocolate? I think that's what it was. Look, I'll have to take a sip of my beverage on that one. Mm, look, and the sisters ain't the only thing they like in chocolate over there either.
Okay.
I still have a friend named Guido in Rome.
Oh, and I have mine. His name is Fabrizio. In fact, Fabrizio, when I was in Rome, took me on a tour. I posted on Facebook, and he was like, Are you sure you want to go back to Chicago?" I
Right.
said, "Are you going to keep me in the manner that I'm accustomed to?"
Yes.
"You can't.
Well,
I have to go back to Chicago."
my last trip to Rome, there was a very famous Chicagoan on the trip with me. I won't say who it was, and
Oh,
she and I were hanging out together on this trip. And
oh,
she met the most fascinating, most beautiful man ever. He owned a restaurant. He was whining
mm,
and dining and all of that. And I kept saying to her, girl, he don't know who you are. He don't know how famous you are. And he was madly in love with her.
wow,
And she was like, man, please, I'm headed back to Chicago. But he wined and dined us, and we had just a fabulous time.
wow.
And I'm like, girl, he don't know you from a can of paint. I said, you would have to tell him, he would have to look you up. You know what I'm saying? But for
And
the most part,
I'm sure he
uh,
did look her up. afterwards.
Well, I don't even know if it got that far, but he definitely was madly in love with her, and so that was interesting. But yes, thank you to all Italian men who love
Yeah.
the chocolate and what's
Chocolate.
yes, and the mocha lattes and the
And the
vanilla
cafe
cream,
lattes.
yes,
That's
and the
right.
vanilla cream lattes and all of that. Yes, so thank you, Italian men, for loving on
Yes.
all the lattes. All right.
Yes.
Yesterday on the Dan Ryan Expressway, the dreadhead cowboy
Oh, Jesus.
decided that he was going to gallop his way into fame. Not that he wasn't already famous, but
Hmm.
yesterday he claimed that he shut down the Dan Ryan Expressway for Kids Lives Matter. And
Yes.
honey, I don't know what to say about this, because I've talked to some people who have said to me, listen, Chat Daddy, um I'm with him 100%. I think he did the right thing. I don't know. I necessarily don't know. I understand that Black Lives Matter. I really do understand that. And I'm in full
Right.
support of Black Lives Matter. Don't get me wrong. I am Black. I've seen some atrocities that have happened to us as a race of people, and that we are continuously under the microscope of just all type of things happening. But I also feel there's a time and a place for everything.
I
Um,
agree.
I do believe that kids' lives matter, but why can't we come together and just get the Black Lives Matter movement in Chicago stronger, more unified? I'm sick of everybody having their own lives matter. Hell, Carrie Renee, if that's the case, former radio turned digital media Black man from the South Side, gay talk show host, gonna start a rally. I think I'm gonna walk butt naked down Michigan Avenue this
Yeah, don't
Saturday
do
to
that.
let people know, baby, I don't
Don't
have
do
a horse.
that.
I mean, I have a horse, but I mean, not a horse you can ride. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, I don't. Well, you can ride it, but I mean, not everybody can ride it. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? It must be this.
Uh-huh.
It must be the Moed and your birthday. But but K Renee, you feel me? I mean,
I do.
I respect this young man, but I also am like, boy, you done messed up traffic on a Monday on a major thoroughfare at that. What's your thought?
I just think, honestly, he was being self-serving. Because actually, I don't know if the backstory to this was that horse, poor horsey, was not only hurt when he was galloping down the Dan Ryan Expressway, but he also rode that same horse for a promo with Auntie Lolo, the
Right,
mayor, Madam Mayor, to
right,
help raise awareness for the census. So I just really feel that he was being self-serving to himself, because I agree with you. He could have used that energy regarding the horse and his message about Kid Lives Matter in a different format. Dan
right,
Ryan is not a highway to mess with. I saw the tape of him galloping with the horse, and they even had to into the horse because he was hurt.
right,
I mean, if you're
right,
gonna ride the horse, make sure the horse is in optimal health. Don't have him broken down, galloping down an expressway where it's not meant for horses, it's meant for automobiles.
right.
So
Well,
I just think he was just a little bit self-serving. That's just
Well,
my thoughts.
you're right. He's been riding through quite a few neighborhoods throughout the city. Remember when we were having the looting and the rioting?
Mm-hmm.
He was riding around. He was, the horse was given to him. He's a young man who has had some challenges in his life. This horse has given him a new lease on life. I get that. I understand that
Mm-hmm.
100%. And I just love to see when people would normally not think be equestrians and enjoy horses and things like that.
Right.
Shout out to the Black Cowboys here in Chicago, all of
Yeah,
that. But I just feel there's a time and a place for everything.
I
And then
agree.
I think I'm sick of everybody being their own organizer now. I'm gonna start my own movement. And really, I think you were just seeking attention from the
Right.
media, because
That's what I believe.
this made worldwide news
It did.
again.
It
My aunt in Atlanta saw it on the news the same time while we were watching it on the news. Keep in
Wow.
mind that Atlanta's news was on last night, and
Right.
she really, saw it and was like, "Oh my God!" So, I don't know. It's interesting to me. And here's the deal: all kids' lives matter. I do agree,
Exactly.
but I think we need to come together for a bigger picture, a bigger collective of how we can help all Black lives matter. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right, right.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's my take on that.
Hmm.
All right, Kay Renee, what else you got news wise, darling? Since it's your birthday.
I have to admit, I haven't been watching the news because I've been out. I've been receiving, birthday greetings and wishes, and would you believe my television is out? So after we have our tete-a-tete, I'm gonna have a tete-a-tete with Comcast Affinity. So I'm like, what? Why is my television out? The cable bill's been paid. So what's the problem? And
Mm-hmm.
they don't like hearing my voice because I have I tell people, as a Virgo, I speak several languages. I speak
Mm-hmm.
English. I speak profanity. I speak truth. I speak sarcasm, and I speak love.
Yes.
Which one you want?
Right. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Oh,
I tell people I'm proficient in English. I
mm-hmm,
am proficient in Ebonics.
mm-hmm.
I am still learning sign language, and I'm learning a little Chinese. But I'm with you. I'm multifaceted, and that's exactly
Exactly.
what I want to be. All right, birthday girl. Well, I'm very proud of you.
Thank
Let's see what else. Oh, congratulations to actress Nicole Ari Parker. She
you.
has
Oh,
just landed a role on the NBC hit show Chicago PD. She'll be
oh,
on
really?
for a major reoccurring role this coming upcoming eighth season. Can you believe the show has been on 8 seasons now? And as we all know, this is a creation of Dick Wolf. And Dick
Mm-hmm.
does some of the best drama series.
He
She'll
does.
play she'll play a deputy superintendent by the name of Samantha Miller, and she's originally from Atlanta, and she will be putting herself out there to do what's necessary as the deputy superintendent. And so I'm looking forward to seeing
I am too.
what she will bring to the table, because I just love Ari Nicole Parker. I got a chance to meet her a few years ago, and she's really the sweetest young lady or lady you ever want to meet.
And you know that her partner, oh my God,
Her
Boris
husband,
Kojo,
her
her
husband, her
husband. Oh
husband,
my
her
goodness.
man, her man. Yeah, that's her man now. I know it's your
I
birthday,
know. I, I, I,
but
I can just admire from afar. I can't admire
yes,
from a near. So, but
yes, yes,
her husband is fine.
yes,
Not
yes. Well,
fine. Fine.
how you say that again? Fine.
Fine.
Fine. Yes. Well, I just want to say this for you on your birthday. Thou shalt not lust for nobody else's husband. Okay. I just thought I'd put it out there, Boo Bear. Thou
I,
shalt
I, won't-
not lust
I
for
won't. I
nobody else's
promise.
husband.
I
Okay.
won't.
Okay. All right. Thou shalt not lust for nobody else's husband. All right. Well, with that being said, what else you want to talk about before we go on? We're gonna let you sing later on in the show since it's your birthday. So, did you have a birthday meal today? Anything special or any of that?
I have broiled some lamb chops
Ooh,
and
you getting all
okay.
them? You getting them birthday messages?
They don't. They're not watching the show right now.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
Um,
That's
I
probably your
broiled
boo
some.
thing, and the boo thing don't know you on the air right now. My boo thing don't know I'm a superstar either. Right.
Um, I broiled some lamb chops earlier. So, and I went to Erie Cafe after I got my nails and my pedicure because
Nice.
my nail salon is up north, and I
Okay.
got some cream spinach,
Oh,
some
nice.
potatoes, and some tiramisu.
Oh
So that's going to be
my.
my dinner. And as I mentioned, on Saturday, my sisters from another Mister,
Yes.
we will be joining together to go to Uncle Julio's for some Mexican feast and some margaritas. And see, I'm not
Mm,
driving, which is a great thing. So I can
yes.
I'm not a drinker, as you know. My signature drink, as everyone knows, is Bailey's. But
Yes.
when I do absorb the liquid, I can get
Yeah, a little rocky roady,
a
a little
little rocky roady. And
as
I've had two times where I've done that. That was when I turned 21 and my
okay.
divorce party.
Okay, well, two major milestones. Two major milestones. You know what I'm saying? Turn 21 when it's legal for you to drink, and when you got rid of some dead weight. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I understand. I do. I do.
So, but no, I'm looking forward to, I celebrate the whole month of September. And, there
Yes.
was a song by Earth, Wind, and Fire. And I was listening to that this morning, September by EWF.
Yes.
So I celebrate the whole month. But as I said on my live, I'm just grateful to be here another year. As my motto is, I love being me at 53.
Yes. Amen.
And 53 looks good, don't you think?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. You look amazing, darling.
Thank
Well, we're
you.
going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to talk to our first guest tonight. As you guys
Okay.
all know, September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And with
Yes.
this being a reality news resource show, tonight we're going to talk about suicide prevention. Here recently, there's been an uptick in people committing suicide. I just was having this conversation with a friend last week who was telling me about someone that had committed suicide. I know of two other stories that have happened during this pandemic. Kay Renee, you and I have learned to pivot and make things happen for us, or at least figure out how we can yet hold on. But then there's a lot of people who just don't have any hope, and they feel the
I know.
best way to rid themselves of all this drama is to commit suicide. And so
Yes.
here tonight to talk to us about suicide, the warning signs, how to prevent it, all that is one of our fan favorites on this show. We love it whenever she's here. She also has worked as a co-host one evening. We'll have to have her back in the co-host seat. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back our favorite, Dr.
Hi,
Wanda.
Dr.
Hey,
Wanda.
hey,
Hey,
happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
hi,
you. Thank you
Dr.
for having me.
Wanda. Oh, you
Hey,
look good. How you feel
thank
this
you.
evening?
I feel good. I feel good. I do. Life is busy, but I try to always have a spirit of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
That keeps me
amen.
going.
That.
Well, doctor, even though we're celebrating such a joyous occasion as Kay Renee's birthday
Right.
tonight, we had already had this booked and scheduled to talk about suicide prevention. And I'm just so honored you'd be able to join us this evening to help us get through this. I do have the suicide prevention lifeline number that I'll be scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And so, doctor, let's talk about what is suicide and why do people feel as if they may want to commit suicide?
So I guess we should probably like start off about prevalence then. And every 16 minutes, someone dies by suicide.
Okay.
Every
Wow.
30, every 39 seconds, somebody attempts, and those are the ones that we know of, right? I see a lot of clients that have attempted that never went to the hospital or never told anybody that they attempted. And
Mhm.
actually, recently, CDC did a survey in June of this year related to this pandemic and mental health, and they surveyed 5,500 people, and of that 5,500 people, 60% of them said that they had increased mental health issues, anxiety,
Mhm.
depression, and 12% said that they had seriously considered suicide. So actually, I think even before the COVID pandemic was the suicide pandemic. That was my own
Mhm.
opinion. And so
Mm-hmm.
everything has been really amplified now during the pandemic. People that were feeling hopeless feel even that much more hopeless, right?
Yes.
Those that were struggling with depression and anxiety, that's been amplified for them. We see a lot of stuff in the news, right? We see frontline workers attempting
Mhm.
and completing suicides. We see police officers, right, and some of the physicians that are in the hospital attempting suicide because it's a very stressful time. What is it? It's when somebody has a desire to end their life. And that could be people who just don't want to be here anymore, or it could be people who are trying to escape some pain or discomfort or distress. Yeah. And I actually in clinical practice like to differentiate between that. I like to know if it's something that they're trying to escape, because maybe we can do some solving of that problem that you have,
Mhm.
or at least change your perspective, right? But if
Hmm.
people just don't want to be here, then it may be more mood related, and they may need some more emergent, kind of interventions.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Dr. Parker, is there a particular age of people that are committing suicide? I've been hearing more stories of teenagers committing suicide, adolescent. Is there a difference between, younger people doing it, adults doing it? I'm curious to know that equation.
Well, I mean, initially, prior to the pandemic, we saw age 16 to 24 were our highest risk, and a lot of attempts with that age. But I've seen as young as 8, right? And then we also have the
Wow.
seniors too. During this pandemic, we've seen the ages between 18 and 24 are at higher risk of attempted suicide or seriously considering suicide. But everybody is at risk, bottom line, and
Mhm.
and I think that we just have to be aware of the signs, the warning signs, and some of the risk factors too that exist, and
Hmm.
because we're all actually going through the shared trauma of COVID. And
Yes.
at the same time, we're going through all this racial tension that's there and hatred, and that
Mhm.
magnifies things. Any one of those things would be enough to stress people out, right? And cause them to
Mhm.
have some mental health issues. But doing them together along with whatever other issues people had, right? We have people have financial stressors during this time of pandemic. They can't, their support system, the very support system that helps them to stabilize and calm down and feel less distressed, they've been somewhat separated from that.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So all those things that people use in order to keep themselves going somewhat has been interfered with, right? Sometimes people exercise, but now, it it's not the same during this pandemic, and they like to go
Right.
out and spend time and socialize, but that's been inhibited in some respects. So if financial worries, if you're worrying about that all day and night, then and you feel like there's no way out,
Mhm.
Hmm.
then
Hmm.
you're at risk.
Hmm. Dr. Parker, I want to find out, what are the warning signs? You and I have had several interviews about this, and we all know the relative or the person that, oh, child, I'm just gonna kill myself. Y'all don't love me. I'm done. Look, y'all call me tomorrow, I'm gonna be dead. And so people oftentimes joke about how to just take my life. But when should we be really concerned that this might not be just crying wolf, and that this might
Right.
be serious?
Well, I think actually anytime anybody says that, we got to take it serious then,
Mhm.
and I say that for two reasons then. I've worked with some people who they may have not intended to kill themselves, but they harmed themselves for some level of attention and they ended up taking their life inadvertently. So I think that we have to be serious about vetting that then. Somebody is reaching out for help or saying that, they're saying it for a reason. Right, that's their way of communicating with us. Why are they wanting to communicate that with us? So I think that's the first thing. Then really kind of vetting why somebody is using that language. And I have clients that come in and they say that, and I'm like, okay, so are you really feeling like you want to harm or hurt yourself or take your life, or are you really upset about what's going on then? And being able to vet, well, I'm upset about it. Okay, so let's talk about that then. But if you don't know, it's better to err on the side of caution then. Be
Mhm.
overcautious, right? Because if you undercautious, you might miss an opportunity to save someone.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay,
So
Renee,
when
do
we
you
talk
have?
about
Oh,
warning signs, I'm sorry, I want you asked
uh,
about warning signs, so I
yes.
don't want.
Okay.
So some of it is isolative. People might overeat or they may undereat. Change in their moods, and they just appear sad. When people come in my office, I can just see the heaviness on them. And they're not engaging in activities that they were involved in once, and they're not enjoying those. They may not have any sex drive or not involving themselves into any kind of sex or intimacy. They're isolative. They may be around people, but not interacting or making those emotional connections. And then I would say, really big is when people start making hopeless type statements, or what we call passive suicidal statements, like, you all would be better off if I wasn't here. Or what's the use? Sometimes people do risky things and you're like, you could have killed yourself. Like, so what? risk factor.
Mhm.
Okay, warning signs.
Right.
So those would be some of the warning signs.
Wow.
I
K
did have
Renee,
a
go ahead. Mm,
I did have a question, Dr. Wanda.
Mhm.
Thank you so much actually for being and talking about this. Has the stigma changed? Because I'm sure Art can attest as well as I, maybe 20 years ago when we were in our young lives, it was a stigma to even talk about suicide. How has the awareness been going forward? I mean, with this pandemic, even though it's a lot of people think it's a bad thing, I'm the eternal optimist that you look at it as half full versus half empty. Do you feel that the stigma has been somewhat decreased, or what are
I'm
your
glad
thoughts
you're
on that?
asking that because I one of my big things is that I think sometimes people don't understand it initially when I say it is that we have to be more comfortable talking about suicide. They're like, well,
Right.
who wants to be comfortable about that? Because if we're not comfortable, we don't ask the questions. We don't feel like we can bring it up in conversation when we feel that way. And so we
Mhm.
have to be more comfortable talking about it then. And one of the
mm,
worst things that you can do is when somebody reaches out to you and says that to say, oh, don't say that, we think that that's a good response. That's actually the worst response, right? Because you're shutting
Exactly.
them down. Find out why they're feeling that way. How long have they been feeling that way? Have they made any plans? So we have to be
Hmm.
more comfortable to have those uncomfortable conversations.
Okay.
mhm. I used to be told that if you would kill yourself, commit suicide, that you was going to hell. And I used to be just so petrified of, Lord, I'm going to hell, I'm going to hell. And then the older I got and the more I got into a lot of different things, I said, well, maybe I might have to go to hell for just a little bit. I don't know. I mean, we need it, but I mean, but you get what I'm saying? People
Right.
used to say to us, if you kill yourself, you going to hell. And that's been why we never really talked about suicide in our
Mhm.
community. And whenever somebody in the black community died from suicide, nobody talked about it. Nobody.
Well, you'd hear about the death, but not how they
Right.
ended up dead,
Yeah.
right? You're right,
Yeah.
right. And
Yes.
so we keep that secret. We hold those secret. And actually, a lot of the stuff that's risk factors, we hold those secrets, right? Especially in our community, right? So anybody who has a mood disorder are more likely to attempt suicide. So that means bipolar, depression, having a diagnosis of schizophrenia or some kind of psychotic disorder puts them at risk. Those who have substance use disorders are higher risk. Those who have a history of trauma are at higher risk. All those things that we keep secret, right? Those family secrets, substance use, mental health, maybe sexual abuse that's happened in the family. All those things make people more likely to be at risk for a suicide attempt. And you have people who have more than one of those
Mhm.
things.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Dr. Wanda, how do we start talking to our families about suicide? I mean, this is, you kind of alluded to it earlier, but this is not a family dinner table conversation. And as much as we want to see and make sure people are okay, how do we have that conversation to make sure people are okay and not at risk of suicide?
So I think it's two different types of conversation. If you feel like somebody is at risk, if they've expressed that, that's a different conversation than just kind of like doing a check-in there. If somebody actually expressed that they want to hurt themselves or they're having thoughts about not being here, or you have concern because they're like seriously depressed, that conversation is more about how often have they thought about that? Have they made any plans and what kind of services do they need in getting them to what they need?
Mhm.
But I think that especially in this time of pandemic, we have to take the time to check in. Um, and we need to do our own self checking in too, right? What's going on with me then? Sometimes we're going through the motions like zombies, but we lose in steam and we lose in hope with everything that's going on, and fear and depression kind of takes over. So I think those kind of check in and conversations to make sure that they're okay. Do you have what you need? I'm not hearing from you much. You seem like you are isolative. You seem like you've been depressed. I don't see you doing some of the things that you were doing before. You locked up in your room with the lights out a lot. Those types of things that are some warning signs that we need to kind of dive in a little bit deeper.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you guys are like, what the hell happened to the birthday girl? This is the South Side, y'all. Kay Renee's internet just went out. She had already complained about the fact that her cable television was out. And so now I guess the internet has gone out at her
Oh,
place.
wow.
And so I was on a Zoom call earlier today, Dr. Wanda, not to divert from what we're talking
Hmm.
about, but the people that were hosting the Zoom call today had such poor internet connection, and this was a major group that I was on this thing with, and so it's just horrible. Yeah, it happens. Dr. Wanda, what else do we need to know about suicide and awareness? Because before I let you go, I actually want to kind of even do a check-in on how are people doing during this pandemic with just their overall mental health.
So you mentioned about the fact that, you believe that if you had um, attempted or even thought about suicide, you end up going to hell. And so that's one of those things that we would consider to be a protective factor then. Something that people actually makes them less likely to want to attempt then. So there's religious beliefs is one. Being able to have a good support system is another. Being able to have a good relationship with any providers that you have, your primary care provider, if you have a psychiatrist or a therapist, having a good relationship with them, knowing where to access help. And then those people who maybe have had some hard times before and they saw their way out, they know that there's light at the end of the tunnel or hope. They can utilize those skills to be able to help them their way out of this moment that they may be depressed in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, Dr. Wanda, how has I know you've been so busy. Every time you and I talk to other mental health professionals that say they've had a huge uptick in clients, and so let's talk about this pandemic and just the overall mental health aspect, and then what can we do to continue to stay in good mental health?
So you're right. I have seen a big increase in people having mental health crises, especially in that, ironically enough, in that age group that the CDC said was the high risk group, that 18 to 24-year-olds, which are college age. Those are the folks
Hmm.
that had to have a graduation without having a graduation, that went into college. And, you're always hopeful and bright eyed about going into entering college and moving on to the next level. And now you have this pandemic and you don't know what that looks like and what your future looks like. So
Hmm.
I've had a lot of people have a lot more anxiety and depression. They worry not only for themselves if they have chronic medical conditions, but they also worry about their parents or their elderly. They worry about whether or not they're going to still have a job, because the market and financially, just the world is so volatile and changing. So people have a lot of worries. Some become crazier type of worries that, somebody might come and do something to them because they become
Hmm.
irrational with it. Some people that I saw that were actually doing good in their mental health, they may have been receiving services, have really kind of taken some steps back because of the pandemic too. So it may have been
Hmm.
someone who was more isolated, wasn't getting out, wasn't socializing, and they had started, and then what happened? The pandemic happened. And so now
Right.
they couldn't socialize even when they wanted to. And so now they locked up in their house, which is the very thing that they were trying to avoid and push themselves to do.
Hmm.
So
Is there anything else that we most need to share with this audience tonight? For those of you all that are just joining us, we have Dr. Wanda Parker. We call her Dr. Wanda, and she's here tonight. She's a noted mental health expert. September is National Suicide Prevention Month. And at the bottom of the screen along the ticker is the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline number. If there's anybody you know who is needing help, or if you feel as if there's a lot of pressure going on in your life, we ask that you please reach out and try to seek any help or all help you can to be able to not be caught up in that situation of you feel as if you want to commit suicide. Dr. Parker has given us some great tips on awareness. She's given us great information on what, suicide and why people consider it and that type of thing. Dr. Parker, is there anything else that we need to continue to talk about and
I
figure
think
out?
so. I just saw one of your viewers said that Black people hid their feelings because they had to survive slavery, right? And so
Right.
we do, right? We compartmentalize, push down those feelings because we do have to survive. But then what happens is that you push it down so far, like you know how you think about pushing down garbage, and eventually you lose space. Then there's no space left. There's no capacity. You don't have anything else to give. So I think that instead of waiting until it's a crisis, when you start to see yourself feeling anxious, feeling depressed, feeling disconnected, or even if you have a fleeting thought of wanting to hurt yourself, or I might be better off dead, that's a sign for you to reach out for help. Um,
Hmm.
a lot of times now that they've incorporated in your healthcare visits doing a PHQ-9, a patient health questionnaire, which is a depression screen. So that gives a sign of where you're at then. And a lot of times people don't think about having a low appetite or increased appetite, problems sleeping, this fear that something bad will happen. They don't equate that to depression. So it's always good to kind of do a check. And people can go and Google a PHQ-9 and fill that out. You can have your team fill it out if you have some concerns. Usually it's
Hmm.
viewed from age 11 and up. And so I think that that's the investment then. It's just like we go for a wellness check for to our doctor just to make sure everything is okay. Well, you can also do the same with mental health then. Doesn't have to necessarily be a crisis, and you might be able to avert one. Sometimes we try to suffer alone. We try to fix it and figure it out our own, and we can't. And when we don't, we feel hopeless. But somewhere in there, you could have reached out for help so somebody can kind of help you along in that path and kind of partner with you then. If you
Hmm.
don't have anybody in your life that you can talk to, then you can go to a professional. You can go to a professional and reach out to the people that are in your life then. You may be surprised at the response that you get from the people that love you then, and it may not
Hmm.
be what you wanted. Or it may be what you wanted, but at least reach out to help and try to access those support systems because we all need somebody, especially now,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Why is there so much stigma behind seeking mental health help?
I
Why?
think
Because
people look at it as a
people,
weakness.
huh?
They look at it as a weakness though, and I actually look at it as some strength, right? You have to have some level of strength and confidence when you reach out for help and ask somebody for help because you're actually creating a vulnerability, but you're letting somebody know that I can't do this alone. And some people would rather, die on the sword than ask for help then, but also some people don't have those systems in place then. If you can't tell somebody that you're upset with them, then you probably are not going to reach out to that same person and tell them that you're having some thoughts of wanting to hurt yourself. So we got
Hmm.
to be available and accessible then. We have to create an environment where people can talk about difficult things in their relationships then without being judged or feeling like you're going to slap their hand because they had that thought.
Hmm. And I was told that black men have a harder time going to therapy than any other race of people. And black men, to me, being a black man, we're always behind the eight ball. We are the subject of the most, here lately, from George Floyd to our brother in Kenosha, Wisconsin, just over and over again. And I'm wondering, why is it that black men, again, as you probably said, the stigma, don't want to be labeled as crazy or whatever the case may be. But I would love to see more black men go seek therapy. I've done it, and I think it's the best thing ever. And I'm not against it or any of that. But I
Mhm.
just think that a lot of them think, oh no, that's not for me. And that's sad because it really could help you in a time when you don't know what you're trying to do next.
Some of it is about just not knowing what happens when you go to therapy, right? It's the fear of the unknown. Um, and once you go, I've had it a lot of times when I have a black male come in and say, you know what, or and for anybody for this instance, and they say, this wasn't what I thought it would be. It wasn't bad, and I want to come back. So I think that sometimes we go through life and we keep pushing on and we feel like we have to kind of go it alone, and it's not a sign of weakness. It doesn't mean that you don't have skills to deal with what you are going through. It just means that you need some extra support and maybe a place to be able to vent and process and get some feedback on what's going on. Then, nothing wrong with that. Then it don't make you less of a man. It means that you are seeking out the resources that you need. Who's gonna be mad at somebody doing that? Then, right? If you seek
Right.
what you need, if you're going for what you know, ain't that what we used to say? Go for what you know.
Go
Go
for
for what
what you know, boo. Go for what
you
you
know. Right,
know. That's
right.
right, baby.
Ain't nobody gonna
Yes,
be
go.
upset about that.
I agree
Yeah.
100%. Just to update you guys, our co-host tonight, Kay Renee, today is her 53rd birthday. Tonight we were celebrating her here on the show, and she had just said earlier on in the show that her cable television had went out. Well, while we were in the midst of this broadcast, her cable has gone out as well. So she's on the phone now trying to go off on her provider, which I'm not mad at her at all, because really it's her birthday. She could have been having a Zoom birthday party, but no, she's on a TV digital media show that is being seen all over the world. So I hope she gives them all kind of hell, and let's wish the best for her. But we do want to wish her a happy birthday. It's the first time we ever had the co-host just blink out, and I said, oh my God, what happened? Kay Renee loves being here. She really does. Well, Dr. Parker, you've done Dr. Wanda, I should say, but it is Dr. Wanda Parker. Dr. Wanda, do me a favor. Tell everybody how, if they need you, that they can connect with you, and then give us your closing thoughts on just how we can move forward in the world in which we live in.
Okay. Yeah, you can reach me at Dr. Wanda Therapy and Consulting Services.com. That's my website. There's a place where you can leave comments. You can follow me. If you're reaching out for help, then you can leave that in the comments um, on my website. My last comments, I guess, would be the fact that, make sure that you do not only your own checkup, but you check up on other people. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. Sometimes we're just going through a difficult moment. It doesn't define you. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just means that you're going through a crisis, and we need to resolve crises, and we don't have to figure it out ourselves. And we're not weak if we ask for help. We're actually doing what we need to do in order to stay alive. A lot of times when people come to me and they may feel hopeless, they may not be wanting to continue this journey of life. And I tell them that I'm going to fight for their life. And my goal is for them to join me in that fight then too. And so I'm partnering with them, and other mental health clinicians will partner with you to get out of that dark space, and you may not be able to change all your situations, because chronic pain is another reason why people can feel hopeless about life. And you may not be able to change that right away. It may be your perspective that you have to change then, your
Mm,
coping skills to be able to get through that moment. And while you're actually enduring it then. So we know how to endure. We are a rigid and tough people then, and we've gone through a lot. We still are right now, but I also believe and I'm hopeful about people's ability to press on and not let this world situations, pandemic, racial
injustice.
discrimination and
Mhm.
racism, those things they're not going to knock us out. They're not going to kill us then. We're going to withstand that, and we'll get past it. So I think the installation of hope is always good.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Wanda, we just love and adore her whenever she's
Thank
here
you.
with us. We appreciate you so much, Doctor. Along the bottom of the screen is a ticker for the number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1 800 273 8255. Again, that's 1 800 273 8255. If you are in need, please make that call. Get the help that you need. If you guys need Dr. Wanda for anything, Doctor, give us your information one more time.
Dr. Wanda Therapy and Consulting Services.com, our website. It also has some resources. And the number that you have, the suicide prevention, if you have any college age kids, make sure you give them that number, even if they aren't exhibiting any warning signs, so that they have it locked into their phone.
Yes. Well, Dr. Wanda, we love you so very much, and thank you
Thank
for being
you.
here tonight. We'll have to
All
have you
right.
back as co-host very soon. Okay.
Please, please take care.
All right. Dr. Wanda, you guys, we just love and adore her. Yay. We do. Show. I wrote. Shout out. And I have co-host. I did. Okay. It is perfect for today. We've been toasting her birthday and celebrating her and her internet went out. That's the new moment we're living in. I was looking at the room tonight. Red Jones said he's paying $150 a month for his 4 children to be able to go to school online, just through Wi-Fi. That's what he's paying $150 a month for Wi-Fi. So this is not something to laugh at. This is actually horrible that people do not have the proper Wi-Fi access they need. Shout out to my beloved Robin Lewis, my regular wife. She's listening to tonight. As you guys all know, she's an amazing news anchor, news director over at WVON Radio. Hello, Robin. And I love you, my dear. I really do. Marguerite, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Marguerite is a huge fan of the show, and she's here with us every night. We appreciate you so much, Marguerite. Coming up on the Wednesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show, tomorrow night, we're talking about the Black history of Chicago. We're talking about Chicago past, present, and future. I have quite a few wonderful guests who will be joining us tomorrow night, and we'll go back as far as the Great Migration of Chicago, how at one point Chicago's prominent had very prominent Black communities, and then we'll talk about what's next for Black Chicago. So please make sure you join us for the Wednesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. So on this show, we're always reminding you guys to stay healthy and safe. So we want to encourage everyone to please wear your mask. Wear your mask. That's what you have to do. You guys know I have masks of all types. I have them in African cloth. I have them in shimmer and glitter. I have them any way you possibly want a mask. I guarantee you I have a mask to take care of that. I even have my own Chat Daddy mask. Look at that, baby. Look at that. Hello, my name is Chat Daddy. Can you guys see that? Look, hello, my name is Chat Daddy. So please wear your mask. I'll be wearing this out in public. I have an appearance this coming Friday, so I'll be wearing that mask on Friday. Make sure you guys have your hand sanitizers. Soap and water is the best thing that you can do to keep your hands clean. But if you don't have soap and water, we ask that you use hand sanitizer and get those hands nice and clean. Be careful touching your face, all of those things. Social distance. Social distance is very important. And you know what we say on this show. If you're not feeling well, keep your ass in the house. Do I have to say it again? If you're not feeling well, keep your ass in the house. Don't spread COVID. Illinois and Chicago is doing very well. Our numbers are trending down. We're not seeing as many people, our percentage rate is trending down, I should say. Don't forget, Wisconsin has been put back on that list of places that we have to be very careful about, and we're just going to move forward. Well, our last guest this evening is a gentleman who's no stranger to the show. We've had him on the show before. Whenever we're talking about your eyes and the best way to take care of your eyes, our eyes are the window to the world. Dr. Ansel T. Johnson is the man about town, I should say, first of all, but he is also the clinical director for Vision Salon Eye Care Associates located in Blue Island, Illinois. Dr. Johnson will be celebrating his 30th anniversary of being in business this coming Friday, and I'm excited to welcome him here to the show this evening. We're going to talk about computer vision syndrome. Who knew computer vision syndrome, as well as how we can better take care of our eyes during this pandemic? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, our good friend, Dr. Ansel T. Johnson. How are you, Doctor?
I'm doing fantastic.
How you?
Chat Daddy. How you doing?
I'm good, Doc. Look at that beard on you, man. You doing the new age Grizzly Adams. Yeah, you got, and look, it's perfect. Yeah, look, I got taco meat. You got like a full beard, Doc. What does that mean? I need to shave the hair off of my head to be able to have a beard like that, Doc?
No, it turned into, from my COVID beard, turned into Black Santa Claus in September.
I love it. Well, Dr. Johnson, it's always a pleasure to be in your company. We have much to talk about tonight. I want to congratulate you on 30 years of being a Black man owning a business in Blue Island, 30 years of bringing us the best in eye care health. Introduce yourself to everybody and tell them what they need to know about you and your wonderful place of business.
Okay, my name is Dr. Ansel Johnson, and I like to call myself your friendly neighborhood optometrist. So Yes, it is true. In 1990, we started Vision Salon, which is evolved into Vision Salon Eye Care Associates. I have an associate doctor, and we have always had the philosophy of focusing on excellence in eye care, and that's what I've always felt. You didn't have to be in an ivory tower teaching institution or teaching hospital to bring the best in technology, the best in knowledge, the clinical knowledge, the best in eye care and eyewear um, to our community. So I think we've done that well by God's graces. He has allowed us to weather the storm for many economic ups and downs, and the pandemic is no different than that. But um, our office really kind of focuses in on the areas of diabetes and glaucoma, which in terms of vision really afflicts our community at a little bit higher level because a lot of those things don't have early symptoms. So I really focusing on educating our patients um, in terms of eye health, not wait until the wheel falls off the wagon when they can't see. Like I had someone coming in today, just unfortunately, we had seen her kind of fell off the radar and came back and has gone other places and just didn't take the glaucoma seriously. Now we're trying to keep her from becoming blind. We have also the only nationally certified diabetes education program in the state of Illinois and one of two in the country that's affiliated with an eye care facility because I got tired of seeing patients coming in and have the diagnosis of diabetes. The doctors say, well, get your eyes dilated, get them checked. So we see those, we do those very well, but knew nothing about how well to take care of themselves. Or when they first got diagnosed, they were told some things, given some literature and pamphlets and, go for it. And then just take your medication, lose some weight, get a little exercise in and move on. And you kind of get frustrated. And you just had Dr. Wanda on talking
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here we go with the bad Wi-Fi, Doc. You breaking up.
mental health and
Okay, there you are. You back.
okay. We just,
Okay.
okay. I said you just
back.
had Dr. Wanda on talking about suicide. And one of the things that people with living with diabetes have a higher rate of depression. So we got to kind of deal with that and wrap our minds around our afflictions. And a lot of times we go into denial. So we decided to develop this diabetes education program. Um, one other problem, guess what? Public aid does not cover that in the state of Illinois. So there are a lot of
What?
people that may have insurance coverage that doesn't cover it or may have a high deductible. So because of that, to hopefully increase our access, we started a foundation, a non-for-profit foundation called, and the Chat Daddy is very familiar because he serves on our board of directors, the Healthy Living with a Vision Foundation.
Me?
And one of our, thank you, Chad, one of our, and he has been phenomenal. So one of our projects is to really provide at no or little cost to people diabetes education to help them live well with diabetes because you can't live well with it. I'm a walking witness to that. So I got my hands in the fire in a lot of different places. Our foundation, running an office. I'm also adjunct professor. So we training students. My thing is to provide a place where African American doctor of optometry students can get experience seeing patients in a community that they would most likely be seeing before they graduate or when they are close to graduation. So that kind of exposure was important to me because I practice in a clinic in the hood in Boston, Massachusetts, where I trained. So we're trying to give these opportunities to our students and other students, of course, to give them some exposure. So that's been reinvigorating my excitement day to day.
Very good. Well, Dr. Johnson, our co-host, is actually back. A black woman on her birthday trying to celebrate on my show and her internet goes out. I can only imagine what she said to them customer service representatives on the other end. And so, Doctor, if you don't mind just for a minute, I want to bring the co-host back in because I'm sure it was a lot of neck rolling. And did you not understand that I was on? Look, I'm sure she said I was talking to Oprah and my internet went out. I'm sure that's what she said. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back our co-host, birthday girl, and the woman who just ripped a new one in her internet providers. You know what? Miss K Renee. Yay, there she is. She's back. You back, darling?
You know,
Hey,
there's
K
nothing
Renee.
like. Hi, Dr. Johnson. How are
Hey, K
you?
Renee. I'm doing fantastic. You better check your
That,
upload and your download speed. You got to download better than your upload.
you know, there's an outage here in this area.
Uh-huh.
And unfortunately, yes, I ripped all the CSRs a new butthole.
Yes.
There's nothing like a determined Black woman when she needs to get something done.
Yes.
Boy,
Amen.
I get Chat Daddy knows you, boy. I tell you.
I told you, Doc. Look, when she popped back up in that waiting room, I said, baby, she done let 1,000,000 people have it and just told them, hey, how important she was. It was her birthday and who she was talking to. And the next thing you know, there is a God. She just reappeared again. So
They found that special switch to flip.
yeah, that did they? Did they? Don't tell me these people cannot flip that switch. They cannot. Well, Kay Renee, we are glad to have you back. Doctor, I want to talk to you tonight about computer vision syndrome. I never in 1,000,000 years knew this even existed. When did this come about? I guess in the new age of computers and all of that. But I would imagine with the millions of adults and children that are on computers, people are probably really going through it right now. Am I right or wrong?
You are more than right, because computer vision syndrome has been around for a long time. Like you said, as long as
Wait a minute. Now they messing with the doctor's Wi-Fi. Right. Right. Yeah, they like, and see, that's what I'm talking about. Because look, now he froze. All we see is that great beard and smile. Doc, can you hear us?
Oh,
Oh, there he is.
Okay,
Oh, wait, he coming. There he is. He back now. Okay, there you go.
Well, as I was saying, computer vision syndrome has been around as long as computers have. So people, typing on the computers and things of that nature. But since COVID-19, the sheltering in place and Zoom and all kind of other kind of online meetings, computer vision syndrome is on overload, and we deal with it every day in our office. And the kind of tragedy is now that our kids have to learn remotely, it's there, and where their visual system with real young kids, their vision system is not mature enough to handle that kind of strain. And you want to put a child in front of a computer on for 4 or 5 hours a day. Shoot, it's bad enough keeping the cell phone away from them. So computer vision syndrome also now includes our cell phones, right? Because our cell phones are nothing but miniature computers. My first computer I got in the mid 80s or early 80s. Shoot, my cell phone could run rings around that little $2,000 computer. I thought I was doing something back then. So, but it's on overload for everybody, because I don't know, where should I start. So it can be described as kind of a discomfort, fatigue, double vision, losing your place. Just so many people just so tired of being on these Zoom meetings hours and hours on end, and our eyes weren't really made for that kind of demand where you're looking at a close distance. Whether or not you wear bifocals, it doesn't matter. If you wear bifocals, and you can have it. If you don't have bifocals, you can have it. If you've never had to wear glasses before, it can be a problem. And so a couple of things about the symptoms. So, again, losing your place, fatigue, sleepiness. And then these are some of the manifestations that can happen with computer vision syndrome. Dry eyes. Okay. So if your eyes never had an issue, they might have been a little bit dry, but if they never had an issue, it can make dry eyes so much worse. And that can physically cause damage to the tissues of the eyes. So, because what's happened when you're staring at the computer, you're not blinking like you normally do. Your blink rate slows down. So what happens? The tears that naturally coat the front of the eyes evaporate. There you go, Chad. Keep looking like that. In about 5 minutes, you. So you get evaporation, and where the tears evaporate from the surface of the ice, you can create little defects, little dents in the front surface. And then when you blink, it feels like you have a hair or scratchiness and sand, grittiness in the eyes. Keep that up, it can actually physically cause damage to the tissue of the eyes. So if your eyes are dry, being on a computer so much can make them even drier. So, and then what it can also cause, it throws people off, it can cause you to tear more. And why is your eyes tearing, but they're dry? Well, you have several different types of tear glands that make moisture in the eyes, because the tears are made up of three major components. One is the oily layer that keeps the tears from evaporating. The other one in the middle is a watery layer.
Uh-oh. We heard watery layer. All right. I know. I'm telling you, this is a doggone shame with this Wi-Fi. Doctor, can you still hear us? Hello, doctor.
I think he might be
Oh, wait. I think he's coming back now. Hello, Doc. Are you there? Can you hear us?
Hello.
I hear something.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Right. Look, the Wizard of Eyeballs is back. There you go.
That's fine. Dry eye can cause, I'd say this computer Wi-Fi syndrome. That's what this is right now. So, but anyway, it can cause physical damage to the surface of the eyes. Another part about that, and dryness is one aspect. So the dryness can actually, your eyes can lose sensitivity. So a lot of times I'm looking at patients' eyes and see all this damage, see all this dry spots and all these little nicks and on the front surface of the eye. I said, do you ever feel anything? And a lot of my patients say, no, I don't feel anything. But I see the damage. Well, I don't feel anything. So your eyes kind of develop a numbness and don't feel that irritation anymore. And that's a real danger, because the eyes are very sensitive, and usually eyelash can cause a huge discomfort. So that's something you can have, and after a while, it just doesn't bother you, but you can still get progressive damage. So dry eye is huge. I mean, and dry eyes can be caused by medications. So a lot of us taking high blood pressure medications that can cause dryness in your eyes. Put that together with looking on the screen all day long. Boom, that's one big bad symptom of computer vision syndrome. Another aspect of it, say you wear glasses or you don't wear glasses and your prescription is very slight. Because of the demands we put on our eyes for computers, a very slight change in your glasses can cause discomfort, whereas before you weren't on a computer that much, that slight change in prescription might not really bother you. So that means you have to keep your eyes and your exams updated even more regularly. So if you're not being seen at least once a year, you got to get it done, especially if you're on a computer a lot, because that slight change can make a big difference in how comfortable your vision is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, another thing about computer vision syndrome, an aspect that people have heard a lot about blue light. You know, the computer screens emit this blue light and it's damaging to the surface of the eye. The sun emits blue light that can damage the eyes. Well, the blue light emitted from the computers, it's kind of debatable if that's really causing physical damage. But one thing that's not debatable is that it'll throw off your sleep cycles. So try to get off those computers 2 hours before bedtime.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. I have a problem with, because I'm on a lot doing different things, but being exposed to the blue light on computers can throw off your sleep cycle, and that's undebatable, not even debatable. Mm-hmm. Physical damage, they feel it can damage over long term some of the cells that receive light and convert them into electricity in the back of the eyes. So also one other aspect, if you have a misalignment of the two eyes, our eyes work together in tandem, right? So if I'm looking at something over there, your eyes have to move over there, correct? So as a unit, when you're looking at a point in space right in front of you, your eyes have to turn in and focus at that distance. Does that make sense? So they have to work as a unit. So if that alignment is off or the muscles are out of balance a little bit because of the high demands and the precise movement required to stare at a computer and follow the print and track across the computer, in two-dimensional space, that can be an issue. So those slight misalignments can be an issue, and a lot of times they're undetected. So you might need special lenses to do that.
Is that how lazy eye develops? How do you get? Can you get lazy eye through being on the computer for an inordinate amount of period of time?
It can make that coordination a little bit worse. Now, the lazy eye or the misalignments of the eye are something that can be caused by a couple of different ways. One, you can be born with it. Another is that the eyes didn't mature, the vision didn't mature the same rate in both eyes to where they worked in a coordinated fashion. Sometimes kids might have had a fever, prolonged fever when they were young. They kind of mess with their nervous system, and so the eyes went out of alignment. Another way you can have lazy eyes is when the prescriptions are very, very different between the two eyes. So you might have seen people where one lens might be real thick, the other one might be thinner. So because those two eyes, the prescriptions are very, very different, the brain pays attention to the eyes that sees the easiest, that sees the clearest. So it kind of ignores that other eye. And so what happens that I just, okay, you're not stimulating me, so I'm just going to wander off like that, right? So that happens a lot. So the eye, the eye muscle coordination problem. So that eye's not being stimulated. So a lot of times the old school way was they tell you wear a patch on one eye and to strengthen the other eye. That's not as been proven to not be as effective, not a patch. Because what do kids do? They take the patch off because they want to see. So that doesn't work very well in most cases. But there are other methods that we have to kind of work with that. So those are a lot of the problems that are at the root of computer vision syndrome. Dry eye muscle coordination issues, just staring at the computer, which is not a very natural state for us. And just, fidgeting and fidgety kids and things of that nature are just, just fatigue. You're just tired. Can't start running marathons and you barely walk around the block, and next week you want to start running marathons. And that's the kind of demand on our visual system we put in this COVID era, being on the computer. So what are some of the solutions? There's a 20-20-20 rule that's free. You can do it. And that's basically every 20 minutes, take a 20-second break and look 20 feet away. 20-20-20. Every 20 minutes, just kind of chill, look away about 20 feet for about 20 seconds. That's a simple thing we all can do. Because when you're looking at what you're doing, you're going to blink more normally, right? So you kind of relax, chill. And you have to be very conscious about it. So every hour on a computer, we should be able to take that 20-20-20 break.
Got it.
So every 20 minutes, take 20 seconds, look away off of something, out the door, out a window, at least 20 feet away. Because what you're doing, you're relaxing your eyes, looking off, so you're relaxing the focusing system in your body. So that's one holistic way that we can kind of help give ourselves a little break. 3 different breaks over an hour, and this is not that much. It's total 60 seconds, right? Every other thing that you might want to consider is getting a neck or support. On a computer a lot, give your little neck a little support.
Oh, so that's just not from flying on an airplane. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. How cool.
The other thing, sometimes, and I explain this a lot to patients, you might need a special prescription if you do wear glasses for the computer. Because it's just like you ladies, I know it's your birthday, Kay Renee, and you're ready to go out and party, and COVID might have squelched that a little bit, but you don't wear no nice stilettos out there to play on the basketball tournament, right? So you might need special lenses to help relieve that little bit of extra eye strain just for the computer and for close work, whether you wear bifocals or not.
I do wear glasses. I wore glasses up until I want to say when I went to college, and when contact lenses came about, I was hooked. So
Listen,
I have my glasses, my purple glasses, but I do wear
um,
them on occasion when I need to. When I need to rest my contact lenses. So
and that brings up another point: wearing contacts when you're on a computer. Because keep in mind, remember I talked about the dryness and you're
right.
decreasing your blink rate. So if you're on a computer a lot and you wear contacts, it's not unusual to see a little bit of extra dryness in your contacts.
Yeah.
So in this age of COVID, one of the things that I generally recommend is that if it's possible to switch to the daily lens where you throw them away daily, right? And one of the reasons for that, if you're not blinking as much, you get more buildup from your tears, the buildup on
Mm.
your contacts, even if you're very meticulous cleaning them, right? So if you're able to, make sure your daily lenses are a better, healthier option. The monthly lenses I usually fit either dailies or monthlies. It's just easier to remember, and don't stretch them out in terms of trying to wear them because again, you're going to get that buildup. It's going to contribute to dryness in your eyes, and you can actually create a rash up under your eyelids from the buildup on the contact lenses that could make it so you can't wear contacts anymore. So those are contacts are not a harmless thing if you abuse them or if you don't take care of them and your eyes properly.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about the 2020 rule. We talked
Mhm.
about the possible need for some individuals to have special computer lenses to help relieve that eye strain. And we can do a lot with lenses nowadays. When people have those little misalignments that cause computer strain and no one can figure out why that's the case, there are lenses out. There's very new products out that address um, that issue that not a lot of people have, but it is available. It's a high tech solution. Um, lenses. So your computer lenses, or even your regular eyeglasses, should they have something special? Should they have that coating that turns dark, or should they have the anti-glare? Why I really strongly endorse the anti-glare solution, and they should also have some sort of blue light protection on the lenses. And there are various ones. Some are better than others. There's some that eliminate 100% of the blue light, and some that eliminate less.
Uh-oh.
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 Some blue
Uh-oh.
light protection is better than that. Even the transition. Okay. Even the transition lenses that get dark when you go outside and come back inside offer some blue light protection. Ah, and 2020 rule, went over the 2020 rule, went over blue light protection, went over computer lenses. Oh, if you do wear bifocals,
I do.
if you do wear bifocals, again, there are progressive or no line bifocals that work better on a computer than others. So it's no one size fits all for everybody, and no one no line bifocal fits everybody. There are some that will help 80 to 90% of people, but sometimes we actually have to kind of change up and see which lens is better. Some are better for the computer, some are better for general wear, some are better for golfing, for instance. So there's a
Hmm.
lot of technologies that out there that work in lenses for lenses for different uses. But we're talking about computer vision syndrome. One other solution is vision therapy or eye exercises. People will ask, well, are there any kind of eye exercises that can help? Yes, it can possibly, and it can work for adults and even more so for children. Um, Typically with vision therapy, it's almost like physical therapy for our vision system to strengthen our eyes' ability to shift focus from one distance to another, to help strengthen our eyes' ability to work together. So if you have poor eye muscle coordination or tracking on a computer screen, and you have glasses, you still get strained, you're still having problems losing your place, then vision therapy may be a solution for you. And again, not a lot of doctors do it, but we have some nice technology in our office that can analyze your eye movements, see how well they work together. You can get a nice report. And we do this because it can help, even though we don't do full blown in office vision therapy, they offer, or what we offer through this device, is at-home vision therapy. So in other words, we give you a login and you do about 10 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and in 30 days, we retest you and you will see improvement in your eye muscle coordination, especially if there's a deficit. So that is another solution. So we have a number of different things that can help.
Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, Doctor, you've done an outstanding job as always. This coming Friday, you're celebrating Can you hear me, Doc?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. You gave me that look like I was talking a foreign language for a minute. I know, 30 years in business, Doctor. I am
Yes,
so
sir.
proud of you.
Mhm.
Friday, I'll be there as a part of your grand opening 30-year celebration, and I'm just so honored to be there with you. Tell people what they need to know about how they can find you, follow you, and then when will we find out more about this wonderful board that I sit on now that I'm really honored to be a part of?
Well, let me tell you a little bit about this now, because Chad Daddy, you get the first scoop. This is going to be our first public announcement during our ribbon cutting on Friday. But as you mentioned, yes, it's 30-year celebration of us focusing on excellence in eye care in Blue Island. There's only 4 African American owned eye care facilities in Chicago area, period.
Wow.
It's 4. And so it's a blessing, and it's just man, I just feel so grateful to still be around and still focus on what we do. So that was one announcement. The second announcement is our not-for-profit Healthy Living with a Vision, and we celebrate Juneteenth because that's when we get our 401c tax ID number on Juneteenth. So there's a lot of symbolism in that. And our mission is to reduce the healthcare inequities in our community. And again, one of the first outreach programs we have is diabetes education, to bring it to more people. We can do that virtually, we can do that socially distancing in the office, but we need your physician's referral because we work with your physician to do that. And it is a partnership. But we want to make it available to more people in our community. And that's one of the big reasons for our health disparities. A lot of our, COVID has been real devastating to our seniors. COVID has been the vast majority, I think about 80% or more people that have passed away from COVID are our seniors. And they need help. They need to understand. They don't know. They just think they have a little bit of sugar. And if they just stop eating sugar, that their diabetes will be good. And it's so much more than that. And I'd love to come back in Diabetes Awareness Month and talk about that in more detail. But so our Healthy Living with a Vision, we start with a very, very strong board. And again, Chad Daddy's actually been spearheading our getting the word out about what we're doing. And we have 2 other physicians that are on our board, Dr. Angela Wheeler and Dr. Thompson, who is an Black African-American allergist, but his passion is nutrition.
Okay.
So we are working on a program where people can get, for a donation, and can get personalized nutrition therapy and help. And we can also have a registered dietitian with our diabetes education program. But we want to be a resource for the community. And one of the things I really want to ask and put out there, if you want to donate and help in this program that we have a website called healthylivingwithavision.org. Again, it's healthylivingwithavision.org. Whatever you have, if you can just click on the donation button, we'd really, really appreciate it, so we can expand that coverage for people in our community. The mantra of my office is people without vision will perish, which is Proverbs 29:19. So we try to live that every day and give people a vision that you can take control of your health. We want you to live well with diabetes, and it is possible. But you got to do it with knowledge, and we're willing to share that knowledge. We are blessed as doctors to have a whole lot of knowledge, and it's like, how can we get that out without above and beyond just our individual patient engagements? And one of my person I really look up to is Terry Mason, who's done a phenomenal job. So we all have to kind of try to do our parts and get out of the office a little bit and try to get that message out to people. We have some tech guys that are on our board who rather, kind of stay under the radar, that's trying to help us out. We have some marketing people. One is in Arkansas, Ms. Gwen Kelly, who is from Robbins, where I grew up, which has phenomenal experience at a very high corporate level in terms of marketing and diversity training. So we just have, I'm really, really extremely happy with our board. We have an administrator, high-level administrator, I'll keep him under the radar right now, that works with the city of Chicago. So we have great leadership. We are just so excited about, becoming the Red Cross for healthcare in the Black community. One other initiative we're working on is the HBCU initiative, where we are working with our national organization called Black Eye Care Perspective. We are trying to expose African Americans to the field of optometry. Right now, we make up less than 2% of the 37,000 optometrists practicing in the United States. As I mentioned, there's only 4 of us in our own independent practices. There are a few others that work for corporate places. So we want to provide a pipeline and opportunity. So I look at that. That's one of the reasons I got into optometry. There were only about 400 in the country in the mid 80s when I got into the profession. So I looked, that's opportunity. It's hard to be what you haven't seen, in the words of Juanta Kunjufu. And so you're a minority in a minority profession. Most people don't think an eye doctor, maybe some like a technician or something, but we are primary healthcare providers. Just last week, because we check blood pressures in our office, we had to send the lady to the emergency room, walking around with high blood pressure, no headache, no problem, wasn't taking her medication, didn't feel bad. So, and we were like, I see changes in your eyes. You can't keep going like, you gotta get this taken care of. And sometimes people don't make the connection. The difference, see, we don't do fast food eye care. So a lot of businesses that are in the eye care business, their business model is to sell glasses or contacts, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, because most of us will eventually need glasses or contacts or some sort of visual connection. But they don't do as good a job connecting the dots. So in other words, I don't have to send you off to someone else to follow up on testing that you might need in the throat. We're a one-stop shop. We do that in the office. And I have a team of surgeons, a network of surgeons that I work with, where I know will treat our people well and do a good job.
Very good. All right. At the bottom of the screen is the website, healthylivingwithavision.org. Healthylivingwithavision.org. Join us. You're my pleasure. That's what I do. Ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to give free health care to people, especially when it comes to diabetes, high blood pressures, helping people to see better, do better. That's what it's all about. Well, Dr. Johnson, it's always a pleasure to have you hanging out with us. Am I breaking up, you all?
No, you're good.
Okay, good. All right, I heard a little feedback in the background. Congratulations again, Doctor, on 30 years. Yay! Yay, Jeepers Creepers. We see your
Dr.
peepers.
Johnson, you were in the Chatham area. I remember you from on 84th and Cottage.
We were on 87th and Cottage in the Travis Realty building.
Yes. I remember. Okay.
Yeah. And now we just kind of consolidated.
Okay.
And we have a 4,000 square foot facility in the city of Blue Island. So again, technologically, we are leading edge. And I've been, I have a couple of hats I wear besides being president of my practice. I am CEO of Healthy Living with a Vision. I'm also the medical director of the largest independent group of optometrists in the state of Illinois called the United Eye Care Providers, which has over 100 doctors, but I'm the only Black doctor in the group. But I'm also the medical director for the group. So my job is to actually show these other optometrists how to better practice and take care of people, not only just with glasses and contacts, but medically.
Right.
So we look to, I get excited when, people find out stuff they didn't know about their eyes and kind of connect the dots and take care of them. So It's important.
Mhm. All right, very good. All right, well, Doctor, hold tight. Kay Renee is wrapping up her birthday celebration. She's gonna serenade us a little bit. I know we're gonna turn up. I know, Doc. Look, even though he's all these official titles and all of that, he likes a good turn up. I know him. He likes a good turn up. Yeah. So, Kay Renee, with that being said, what do you want to say and do before we close out your birthday celebration show?
Well, first, Art, thank you so much for having me. My apologies. Even I know you're gonna say, Kay Renee, you didn't. This was not beyond your control. I get it, but you also know me. I mean, the moment we went out when I didn't have service, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me! On my birthday of any day, this is gonna happen on my birthday.
What did I say, Doc? Didn't I say that? Didn't I say that?
Next year, September 22nd, 2021. Your cable's gonna be working, girl. There ain't nothing gonna happen to that cable.
Look, and it's gonna be free. It's gonna be free when she get through reading these people. She gonna be like, go to YouTube and see when the cable went out. I got proof that it went out. So I'm telling you,
baby.
Right.
Everybody working for the cable company will put that day off.
Art, and I was really into the conversation with Dr. Wanda, so I'm hoping that when you bring her back, I would like to be the guest host again. And then it's good to see you, Dr. Johnson, because I do remember you in the area. So,
not that much farther away.
Pardon me?
Not that much farther away. It's like 15 minutes away from that area.
I have a dear friend who lives in Blue Island, so we may have to come by to see. Yes.
Come on, say hi. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. But I just really want to say to the audience, my apologies, but thank you so much for the well wishes to my tribe who've always said, who've kept me honest. Thank you. And as I'm gonna sing a song that is near and dear to my heart. I said this on my live by an artist who I had opportunity to talk with, because you remember her, Art, because she was supposed to be the guest artist for Family Rescue's anniversary, and that was Jennifer Holliday.
That's right. Yes.
And one of the songs that is not the signature song, Dr. Johnson. I'm just going to say that right now. So, but it's a song about love, because that's, to me, when you celebrate your birthday, you have to love who you are to celebrate. So here we go.
Yeah.
If I talk too much, you see, I'm trying desperately to be understood. If I seem a little shy, it's for all the time that I hid my heart in the dark. Like in all the storybooks, the white knight came and took the little girl alone in the world. You don't try to overwhelm when I sometimes understand the way I feel. Now I believe I am love, always here to give you what you need, like you do for me. I am love, for the first time I know that is real. Oh, you make me feel I am loved.
Oh, how beautiful. Yay. Yes, you are loved, my dear. You are. Doc, was you crying a little bit there, Doc? Was you crying? Looked like I saw you wipe tears away.
I love that song. You said that was not a signature song. That was signature enough. I really
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. All right. Well, very good. Well, with that being said, happy birthday, Kay Renee. We just want to wish you many more. May God continue to bless you and expand your territory. Dr. Ansel T. Johnson, you know how I feel about you, my friend. Always an extraordinary man with a great message for everybody. We've got to pray that this internet thing gets better for everybody. Because, honey, I feel like we're talking on a telegraph machine. I do. I feel like we're sending out Morse code to everybody. Well, with that being said, I encourage everybody to please go over to YouTube, subscribe to the Real Chat Daddy Show. It's very easy, simple. It does not cost you anything. It's free. You can also go over to Facebook and subscribe to the Real Chat Daddy Show. All encore performances of the show can be found both on YouTube and Facebook. For more information about yours truly, please take a gander over at Facebook. It's the not Facebook, but my website, the realchatdaddyshow.com. Again, the Real Chat Daddy Show. No, I'm giving y'all the wrong thing. My website is the realchatdaddy.com. This is the Real Chat Daddy Show. I told you, this is incredible. All right. On behalf of Dr. Ansel T. Johnson and our birthday girl and my co-host, the amazing Kay Renee, we want to say good night, everybody. Yay! Doctor, I'll see you Friday at your 30th year celebration. Looking forward to that.
Oh,
yes.
One last announcement I forgot. Anybody ever hear FUBU?
Yes.
Anybody ever hear of FUBU? We are premiering FUBU Eyewear in Chicago, the very first office to bring FUBU Eyewear. Right. Fabulous. The woman and CEO of the license will also be at my office. Now, this is a private ribbon cutting. Private, so that y'all don't be showing up.
Right.
But anyway, we're going to be premiering it. It's going to be on Facebook Live for the Southland Black Chamber of Commerce. And then after next week, y'all can come on and get the FUBU. Take a look at it.
That's right. Yeah, y'all can't see nothing before I see it. How about that, boo? Right. How about that? Y'all can't see nothing before. Whose logo is eyeglasses? Mwah. Y'all can't see nothing until after I see it. So so Friday, don't come up out there talking about Chat Daddy said. I ain't tell y'all nothing. I just told you where I was gonna be at on Friday.
That's right.
Right. So y'all keep social distancing.
For us by us, we'll be there.
Yes, thank you so much. All right. Well, on behalf of Dr. Ansel T. Johnson and the amazing Kay Renee, I want to say good night. God bless you all. Don't forget, tomorrow night on the show, we're talking about Chicago past, present, and future. And we're talking Black Chicago. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night. Everybody have a beautiful and wonderful night. And we are out of here, baby. I love you guys. Take care. See you tomorrow and good night.